Hi, welcome to my channel, and thanks so much for checking it out. So, one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about, we've been talking in the past couple of videos about note ties, and that is when, you'll notice that I've switched over to, I guess, my template now, where I'm on a 5-line staff, and I think we've seen a 5-line staff before in the playlist. But if we haven't, this might also be an introduction to a 5-line staff. And this is, eventually we'll work up to doing all of our examples on the 5-line staff. But for right now, all you have to know is that, 5-line staff, where on these lines you put notes pretty much indicates what notes you would play, whether you're playing a C or an A or a D or something like that. That is kind of what notes you play are dictated by where you put those notes on the staff right now. And what I kind of wanted to give you an example of is because we've been talking about note ties and tying notes. And actually, let me write down an example real quick. And, just to make this look a bit more like a real staff, I'm going to put in our clef, which you might not know what a clef is for right now, and I'll explain that. I'll explain that later, so it's fine if you don't know what a clef is, but we'll put that in right now, and I'll put in our time signature in 4/4. So I kind of wanted to just give you a bit of an example about note ties. So we've been learning about note ties being. Let me draw out real quick an example. So how about should make that stem going down because I wrote that there. So let's write out an example where we've got bum bum and another C. Okay, so this is good for right now for our example. And actually, let me just finish out this measure with quarter note, quarter rest. Okay, and there we go. We're done. So what we've been learning about with note ties, we haven't been learning at all. I guess about where we've been dealing with different pitches. All we've been dealing with has been rhythm, and note ties. I guess pertain primarily to that, where if we were, if I tie together these two notes, and as you can see, these two notes are on the same space on the staff. They're on the same line, I guess, or in between the same two lines, really, on the staff. So that, I guess, is the criteria for having a note tie. Now, and actually, let me put a stem on that quarter note real quick. So one of the things I kind of want to show you right now is the difference between this tie and what we call a slur. And a slur is going to look very similar to a tie. Let me write down another example down here in 4/4. And let's actually just write the same rhythm out. So we've got half note, quarter note, quarter note. But now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to tie this in the same place, this half note, instead of writing this on the same line, I'm going to write this half note down here. Okay? And, well, now that, actually, you know what? Just because that looks kind of weird right now and I don't want to make this too strange, I'm actually going to write this half note up here. Okay? And then we just have quarter note right there on that space and quarter rest. So if I were going to put in this same tie mark, and let me actually do that. So this same line, this same curvy little line that we have, actually let me draw that a bit better so it's just one line like that. This is kind of illustrating the difference between a tie and a slur, where this up here, this is a tie, okay? because you can see that this is obviously, and we don't necessarily know what note this is yet, and that's fine, but we can tell that these notes are on the same space. They're on the same space on the staff right now. They're in between the same two lines, okay? But these two notes down here, we can obviously tell they're on different lines. So that is why this example down here is a slur. And we'll get into more later on how you would play a slur and what, you know, a slur specifically means and how you specifically deal with it. You know, for right now, the simple explanation behind it is with this tie. If I was going to sing this out, I'll sing this out real quick. So if we put on, actually, you know what? I've still got my metronome up. I'll get out this and set this to 4/4. It's already set. Okay, there we go. So now I've got my metronome on, so I'll just sing this out. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so that was that example down there. And now I'm going to sing this one on the bottom. This one where we've got this slur instead of a tie. And I'll actually try, I'm going to embarrass myself and try to sing this on some type of pitch. And I'll show you kind of what a slur would sound like. 1, 2, ready, go. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, one more time. I don't think I did that very well. I really don't think I'm going to do it very well now, but here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Ba, 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 ba. Okay? So, what this slur is pretty much we're not going to articulate. We're going to still change notes, but this slur, we're going to change notes, but we're not going to articulate. Change notes, but not I'm not having a very good day with my spelling. Articulate. We change notes, but we don't articulate the second note in the slur, the note that we slur into. So we don't attack the second note. So if I was singing this and there were no slur here, let me actually do that real quick. I'm just going to erase that slur mark real quick. So there we go. If we had no slur there, and I'll get the metronome back. Here we go. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, and now let me put the slur back in. So that was without the slur, and now we'll put the slur back in. 2, ready, go. Ba, 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 ba. Okay? So you can kind of, hopefully you can kind of tell that I'm not re-articulating this top note. I'm slurring into it. I'm just, you know, gliding into it. It's not like this tie, where this tie up here, you're not re-articulating the note, but it's really the same note. So you're not, so you really are just pretty much holding this through. So you know, if you have a tie like this, it really is effectively like you're holding this for 3 beats up here instead of playing one note for 1 and then playing another note for 2, which is what you're doing down here. So down here you still have to kind of pay attention, or you always have to pay attention to what the time is, but down here you have to accurately change notes on the downbeat. So anyway, that's the difference between a tie and a slur. Hopefully I didn't confuse you with that. This was mainly to kind of give you a little bit of insight into this stuff, and we will deal with this much more later on in the playlist. So anyway, hope you're enjoying these videos, and I'll see you soon.